going live. We're doing a quick training on how to navigate around the holidays. We're already diving into some really, really great topics. So before I even started the presentation, so we decided to go live now. So what we're talking about right now is how to navigate around expectations of family with like the holidays is just weeks on weeks and weeks on end. And what we were talking about before is the 2 rule, right? Either like if you have one meal that you really enjoy, Christmas dinner, just don't let it become 2 meals. Or if you have one day, let's say part of your family's traditions is have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you have one day where you just enjoy it. You just eat the food in moderation. You don't focus on all the things that you typically do with your coach. That's perfectly fine. Just don't let one day turn into 2. That's that compassion and accountability, like evident, like science-backed way to help you create that behavior change and become more disciplined, right? You're allowed to have this day, but hold yourself accountable and don't let it happen twice. But when it becomes this tradition of your family, back to back to back, like you were talking about too, it's like, it's your sister's birthday and then your birthday and then like Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and it's just like this whole cycle. And it's really hard to look back on the holidays and be proud of what you did and not feel like you have to start from scratch when it just becomes this whole season of visiting Fucketville for a couple of months, right? And so what we were talking about before is that if we truly want to create this a lifestyle change, if we truly want to become that person that doesn't go back to the drawing board and feel like you have to start from square one. This isn't this diet that you're doing or you're just kind of listening to Toby and he's just being annoying at you, telling you that you need to move more and like eat some food and all that stuff. It is a complete lifestyle change. Complete lifestyle change. This is part of your identity and part of your standards. And just like any other standards that you have within your identity, like for me, if somebody told me they didn't like me being a coach or they didn't like me lifting heavy weights, I'd be like, that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion, but like, am I supposed to change who I am? Like, I respect you and your decisions. I don't always agree, but I respect it. I expect the same thing back. And so if we're truly creating this an identity, if we are truly making our health a priority, this needs to be part of your identity, right? Just like if it's your religion or your profession that you truly believe in, like you have those standards where you show respect to others, but you stand your ground. And so we need to go into the holidays the same thing if we are trying to change our behaviors. But do it in a way that's constructive. Don't be an a-hole and just be like, screw you, I hate you. Like, that usually doesn't go well, right? Have a constructive conversation with people and actually talk to your family about the changes that you're making as you're trying to prioritize your health, right? And so with that being said, like sit down and just have a conversation with the people that you love and just be like, hey, guys, I'm really trying to make changes within my life. I'm really trying to prioritize my health. You're not doing a diet, because usually when you talk to people, you're like, I'm doing this diet. People are like, fuck, they're gonna suck. She's gonna do this like diet culture diet that's gonna make her like bring her Tupperware at home or be like, no, I can't have that because it doesn't fit in my points or things like that. And people are like, God damn it, don't. Like, please don't. Soon, don't do it again. But if you like actually come and be like, no, this is me prioritizing my health. This is me doing what's right for me. This is me really trying to change my lifestyle for the better because I want to be here for a long period of time. I want to travel with my husband. I want to be there for the people that count on me. Like, this is me really truly investing in me. And these are the things that are going to change. We need to communicate in that way, because if you do that, people are going to understand that this isn't just this thing that you're doing too. They understand that you're actually taking this serious. Just like if somebody was like really diving into religion, maybe they're out for a while and they're really trying to go back into it. And they're like, hey, like, I just want to communicate with you that I am Catholic again, right? And I just want to go to church on Sundays. And I know that we typically do this on Sundays, but I really would like to go to church. You know what your family would do? They'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. Even be like, let me just go with you. I want to support you. I love you. I love this for you. This aligns with who you are. You're trying to be your best self. I want to be there for you. If we communicate it in the same way with our health, people are more than likely either going to really respect it or trying to jump in it with you. Or here's another thing. People will probably be inspired by you. Like, how many people within your life that set those boundaries where they're like, I'm sorry, like, I don't go out to eat at night. I don't drink a lot. I don't eat, like, I don't go out to eat or things like that too often. Maybe once in a while, but I don't do it frequently throughout the week. Usually when you see those people, you're not like, that person sucks. Like, you're like, damn, that person's like freaking inspiring. Like, I kind of want to be like that person. Like, you could be that person for other people. That's the beautiful thing about learning how to become the CEO of your health, is that you become the light in other people's lives. Not by the words that you say, but the actions that you take. You lead by example, and people see that and they love that for you. They see the great changes that you're making. So it's like, is not always just about you too. Like you could literally change people's lives just by being the best version of yourself, inspiring them to do the same, right? And so when you communicate with them that, and you say it in a way that's like, hey, this is me trying to change my life. Here are the new expectations. Because if you don't tell them the new expectations, how are they going to know to expect anything different from you? A lot of people get really frustrated and they're like, I'm trying to eat healthier, but my family keeps peer pressuring me into doing this. And I'm like, okay, cool. That happens. Sometimes people can be like a-holes. Like I'll just be honest, not everybody's awesome like you guys, but some people are a-holes. Here's the thing to consider though is, have you ever communicated with them to expect anything different from you? If you're the person that typically eats a bunch of cookies with somebody else, if you're typically the person that goes to the bar with other people, and you're trying to make better decisions for yourself because it doesn't align with what you want for yourself in the future, they're going to ask that still. They're not trying to peer pressure you. They just don't know. So communicate with them. Tell them that these are the new expectations. Tell them why. Not because you're just doing another diet or anything like that, but you're truly trying to take care of yourself and do the right by you. And how is this going to affect your life? I'm going to have better mental health. I'm going to be living a long, healthy life. I don't want to be in the doctor's office. I don't like all of these things that add value to your life where people can get really behind it. And again, 9 times out of 10, people are going to be like, okay, cool. How can I support you? What do I need to do for you? Right? Like I called my parents yesterday and just being fully transparent with you guys, my body's not happy with me. I've been working long hours. My sleep has been horrible and my body is showing clear signs that it's just not happy. And I've been on those calls with Toby just trying to navigate through a lot of these things. And one of the things that we have to do is like, I can't drink alcohol right now. I have to prioritize my sleep right now. Like gluten and dairy in certain foods wreck my stomach. So if I'm in a very, very regulated state, or a lot of people call it like stress state, I need to treat my food and my movement and my sleep and my lifestyle things like medicine because my body is just not happy right now. And so I called my parents yesterday and I just told them, honestly, I was like, this is what's going on. Like, I need to do this for myself. If I don't, these things are going to happen. And you know what my parents did? Okay, cool. That's perfectly fine. Like, what do we need to do? If you have any rest, let us know. We'll be more than happy to do that. And then they always like have sourdough bread, but sourdough has gluten in it. It usually lands a little bit better in my stomach than other breads, but still, like, I just want to do my due diligence. You know what I mean? So I was like, if you could find a gluten-free sourdough bread, like for stuffing, I want it because I love stuffing. And they're like, yeah, let's see if we can find a recipe. They also have a friend that makes sourdough. So they've said that they might ask her to make it for us. Like sometimes it can actually be really fun. And here's the thing is that if you really go and you're just like, hey, like I don't know if I can do this on my own at first. And I'd really love your support. I'd really love if we could just make a little bit of things. Like obviously it's my responsibility to do some of the things I need to be doing, right? But like if I can get some help with this, people freaking love helping. They love it. Just like you love helping people, they love it. Like if somebody came to you and was like, Sue, I'm really struggling right now and I don't know if I can not drink. Like they're trying not to drink. They've seen it's like not doing well with their life. They're using it as a crutch. They're really trying not to, but they're really afraid that they might drink during the holidays. You know what you probably do? I'm so proud of you. Of course, I'm gonna be your buddy. I'm not gonna drink with you. Like you stay by my side. If you feel like it, you come to me. Like that's probably what's gonna happen. It's gonna make your heart feel so good. Don't deny other people the same opportunity, right? Because this isn't just like, again, this isn't just a diet. This is our future self. This is our livelihood. This is us becoming the best version of ourselves, being super healthy mentally and physically. This isn't like I need to change my oil and I need somebody to remind me kind of a thing, right? So it's okay to ask for help. This thing is hard. It is. Changing your nutrition fitness, like I said before, isn't just about doing a diet. You're changing your identity. And we've all gone through parts in our life where we're trying to change our identity. And it is so hard. It's worth it, but it is so hard. And we need people. We need community. We need coaches, right? That help us get through those tough moments. And your family is no different, right? But here's something that you have to realize is that there are going to be people that are not going to understand. There are going to be people that are going to question you. And there's going to be people that are going to be like, and I've had this happen to me at times where I'm like, hey, like, I'm sorry, I just don't eat gluten and dairy. Don't mind me. You don't have to change a thing. Like it's me going to somebody else's dinner, like family dinner. I'm like, do not mind me. I am not here to change your family. Like, just don't worry about me. I will take care of me. Like I brought a veggie plate that I could snack on because I knew I could do it. Like I brought things there that I could snack on that would take care of me. And then later on, I'd probably, if I was still hungry, I'd eat something else because it's not a big deal. I'm there for the memories and the connection. The food, I'm not going to remember later on. I will feel me feeling super bloated and not feeling good the next day and being on the toilet. Like I will feel that, but I won't feel anything else. But I've had people that thought it was very, very rude. And understandable, right? But then always remember that your job is to focus on you, right? Do your best to communicate. Do your best to try to meet people in the middle and go back and forth and be the best person you can and handle that situation as best as possible. But their reactions are not your responsibility. You cannot control that. All you can control is you, prioritizing you, standing by your standards. Just like if you were going to a situation where somebody was saying something that made you very uncomfortable about like your profession or your religion or anything like that, you'd just be like, okay, that's you. Like, that's not on me. That has no tie to my value or anything like that. I'm going to stick to what I believe in, and I'm going to show you respect, but I expect the same. And if you're not going to, then we're going to have a conversation around leaving, right? And here's another thing that you can do. Here is a tip here, okay? This works 9 times out of 10. This does, okay? Here's a little tactic that you can do. So for example, there's one time that I was going out for drinks when I was early 20s. And this is where in my life, I was like really, right, like a year or two beforehand, I was not in a good place. Like borderline alcoholic, just not good. And I literally just up and changed my whole life because it was either like I kept doing what I was gonna do and get kicked out of school and possibly like jail, just being honest with you with some of the stuff that I was doing. I was surprised I didn't get caught, some of the things, right? It was like rock bottom. And so I really just wanted to not drink. I didn't want to put myself in that position, especially during the holidays. That was where it came out the worst. And so I went out to drinking, and somebody that I didn't know was going to be there from my past life that used to drink with me all the time was there. And I was like, I'm not drinking. They're like, no way. Like my nickname was Miller Time, a Miller Lite, Miller Time kind of a thing. Yeah, right. I even like Miller beer. I don't even like beer, but yeah, that was my nickname. And they're like, come on, you're Miller Time. There's no way. There's no way. And just kept peer pressuring me. And this person was just drinking a lot. Like, I know this person is actually really good at heart, but when they drink, they tend to be kind of an a-hole sometimes. And I literally turned to them and I was like, what? Are we in fucking middle school right now? I thought we were adults. Are you trying to peer pressure me right now into drinking? You're better than that. Come on. And they're like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm okay. I'll leave you alone. And it's like that right there where you call them out and being like, you're being a child right now and I'm trying to be an adult. Immediately, for a lot of people, it puts them in their place. If they're too drunk, it might escalate the situation, but then just leave by then. So that's just an example, is like stand your ground, like handle it as best as possible. Their responses are not your responsibility. Only you are. And if somebody pushes back, stand your ground more. And if it escalates, just leave. Because that's part of your identity now, right? If we treat it like a negotiable thing, then we can't wonder why we're not consistent. We can't wonder why year after year in these circumstances like traveling and holidays and we're stressed and busy, why we can't just be quote unquote disciplined. A lot of times the lack of discipline, there's multiple different reasons why, but one of the biggest reasons why there's lack of discipline is that you haven't truly made this a true priority identity shift. And until you do, you will always feel that disconnect. Because like I heard this, a gentleman came on one of our podcasts, and I'm not going to say it word by word. It's a quote and I'm going to probably murder it. But the whole like general idea is the reason why people feel disconnected or depressed or feeling like they just are never going to be able to become the person that they want to be is because their life is full of saying, I'm going to do this thing, but their actions never follow. And so when we finally connect that, I am that person who says I'm going to do something and actually does that, that's called self-efficacy, which is another word for discipline, which is another word for creating confidence, is keeping promises to yourself, which is another way of just completely elevating your life, having better mental health, physical health, all the different things when we apply it to nutrition, fitness, right? So that was probably a little bit longer and deeper conversation about that, but like that is truly like, let's not talk about the surface level stuff. Let's actually get to the root like thing. What do we need to talk about? And it's usually a little bit deeper than that, right? So there you go. Did that help? Good. Okay, so let's go through some of the things when it comes to navigating through the holidays. So some of this is going to be a little bit more planning things out, perspective shift, mind shift. But some of it's actually going to be like tactical things. Like what can I do with my nutrition and food in order to be successful during the holidays, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to have you guys do is take a step back, close your eyes really fast. I know. Close your eyes, right? And start thinking about yourself on the other side of the holidays, right? On the other side of the holidays, you're proud of what happened. You're looking back at the holidays and you're like, damn, I did a good job. And remember, your future self didn't do things perfectly. That's not what happens. Your future self adapted and adjusted. When things didn't go your way, you still found a solution that you could be proud of. You were a problem solver, but you still had fun. You didn't beat yourself up. A lot of times when you're looking back at that, you also ate really great food, but you did it in moderation. You still created really great memories, but you still honored your health during that time and your goals. Things aligned with your values. What does that look like? Get into the specifics. How many times did you work out during that time? How many drinks did you have? Did you have drinks? When cookies were out, did you have 1? Did you have 3? When Thanksgiving dinner comes out, what does that look like? Did you eat a prime roast the size of your face? I will be doing that. Right? Or would you have practiced like a little bit more moderation? And the reason why I'm asking you to look at your future self right now is because defining success through the holidays, for me, will probably look completely different for you. Your lifestyle, your preferences, your goals, what you're capable of doing and not doing, looks completely different from me to Jennifer, to Candace, all of you guys. So you can't come to me asking what it should look like. You have to go to you. But if you've never even sat down and asked yourself, what does it look like to define success through the holidays? What does that specifically, tactically look like? How do you know if you're going to do well with that, right? If we don't know where we're going on navigation, how do we reverse engineer it to know that we're going to actually reach that destination? So that's the first thing that I want you to do, is take a piece of paper and a pen and just sit down and write out, what does a successful holidays look like to you? For a lot of people, it is not what you normally do throughout the year, because the holidays is that one circumstance where you're going to prioritize a little bit more of your memories than trying to be perfect, right? Holidays is also usually, most of the time, I do not have people go in a calorie deficit. I do have some, because some people think it's totally doable. They're like, I honestly don't enjoy, like I don't have a lot of family obligations. I don't travel a lot. I might have 1 to 2 meals during the holidays, but that's it. I can still do a calorie deficit, while others feel like it is not doable for them. And that's neither good or bad. You're just defining what success looks like to you, right? So getting very specific on that. Now let's get really realistic on that too. A lot of times people, when they're going into the holidays, especially it's their first one, they're like, I want to kick it out of the park. I want to do everything and anything. I'm going to work out 5 days a week, and I'm going to track all my food except for this one dinner in here, and I'm not going to drink alcohol at all, and all this stuff. They just go from 0 to 100. Okay? Back to what we were talking about before, is that holidays is not something that you can just magically do better at. It is a skill that needs to be practiced year after year until you start getting into your groove, right? And so if you think that you're just going to go from 0 to 100, we need to rein ourselves back and create more realistic and tangible goals. Because if you go from 0 to 100 and feel like you're always trying to catch up, you're always trying to reach out something that might not be achievable for you, you can understand that you're going to be very discouraged by the time that you're done. We're trying to put check marks in. We're trying to click those habits done. We're trying to build confidence with ourselves. Say that I'm going to do something and actually do it. So have realistic expectations. During the holidays, if you typically lift 5 days a week, but you're traveling, or it's really hard for you to get to the gym sometimes when you're doing that, create realistic expectations. Do the at least rule, okay? Perfect world, if I have a great week, I'll do 5. But if I at least get 2 done, boom, that week is great. That's 10 times better than last year, because I did not work out at all for about a month and a half. That's 10 times better, right? If I am going to a holiday dinner and we bake a bunch of cookies, and last year I ate 20 cookies in one day, whoops. My goal is to at least get 5, at least 5, right? In a perfect world, it might be 1 to 2, but if I have up to 5, that's so much better than last year, and that's okay, right? Another thing is that, like, hey, what can I control? Focusing on what you can control is another thing that I want you to start focusing on too. Okay, during the holidays, it's a lot of unforeseen circumstances. It's a lot of changes and traveling and things like that. There's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to be able to plan for, and it's probably not going to go according to plan. Be okay with that. Again, your future self isn't about being perfect. Your future self is about being adapting and adjusting and being a problem solver and just rolling with the punches and picking the best option in front of you. Okay, so focus on what you can control. Right? You might not be able to control every single meal, what's going to be on your plate, but can you control going on a walk in the morning? Can you control drinking your water? Can you at least control breakfast? And then everything else you do the best that you can. Can you control having at least 1 to 2 drinks? and what kinds of drinks, instead of doing some really, really fruity drink every single time, or eggnog, like whatever that people drink all the time that's like super, super strong. People get really, really drunk on it. Can you have like a half of one and the rest of it is like a tequila soda or like a white wine or champagne? Something a little bit on the lower calorie side. What can we control that moves the needle in the right direction, that makes it dramatically better than the year before? Those are the things that we can focus on too. The 2 rule that I said before, and I'm going to repeat it because it's such a really great rule, because that compassion and accountability is look at what you can control. Can you do the 2 rule? I have this dinner coming up. I'm going to have Thanksgiving dinner, but I'm not going to let it happen twice. I'm going to do my best for breakfast and lunch, prioritize lean proteins, fruits and vegetables, drink a lot of water, right? But Thanksgiving dinner, I'm going to have a little bit more fun. I'm not going to track. I'm going to enjoy some foods. I can control the portion sizes, right? I can control if I go for thirds, right? I can control stopping when I'm about 80 to 90% satisfied and not pushing towards completely full, right? All these little things that seem very minuscule, unimportant. But if you compound all these little things over a period of the day, that's where you create huge change. That's where you get that whole, I made memories, I enjoyed the foods that I love, but I didn't go overboard. I'm proud of how I handled that. It aligned with my values, aligned with everything that I'm trying to do, but I can also be very, very proud and not gain 5-10 pounds after, okay? The other things that you can do is like, this is what I do, okay? A tactical thing that you can do through the holidays is if you know you have a dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and you know that you're probably gonna have a little more fun, have a couple of drinks, things like that, okay? You can probably guesstimate that it would probably be around 1,000 calories, or a little bit more, a little bit less. You can probably guesstimate what it is. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just give yourself a good college try. And then in the rest chronometer, just plan out what you're gonna be doing, okay? So for example, let's say that I'm doing about 1,000 calories, okay? So breakfast, I'm gonna prioritize lean protein. Instead of eggs, which has a lot more fat in it, which isn't inherently bad, but I'm trying to keep it a little bit lower calorie, very filling, and a lot of nutrients that I probably won't get during the Thanksgiving holiday for that balance, that moderation, right? Because balance is give and take. If I want to take more during Thanksgiving, I've got to give more earlier in the day. So can I prioritize lean protein? So I'm probably going to do like a Greek yogurt bowl instead of like 4 eggs. And then I'm probably going to put some fruit with high fiber, right? Instead of doing like big old bread, like toast bread that I usually typically do for my post-workout meal, right? That's going to be high fiber, lots of really great nutrients, high protein that's going to keep me full and counteract what I did later on. It's neither good or bad. It's just that balance that I'm looking for, that moderation I'm looking for. And I can do the same thing for lunch, okay? And then the rest of the dinner, practice moderation, that give and take. If I'm gonna have a slice of pie, probably gonna lessen up. I'm not gonna do a huge amount of stuffing. I might do like a smaller amount of stuffing, right? Like that give and take, right? It's not off limits. It's just like anything else. If I want to budget for a house, I have to take back a little bit of my fun spending. It's neither good or bad. It's just the ebbs and flows of what's going to align with my goals right now, right? And so if you think of it that way, it allows you to create that balance. It's significantly better than what we did previously for a lot of people, right? So there's a lot of other things that you can do in specific circumstances. So I'd like to ask you guys, is there anything that I didn't cover already that we can dive into a little bit more? Like working out while we're traveling, or drinking alcohol, or what happens when I do this, like anything like that. Did I do a good job? Good. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. What was like the big takeaway from this call? Like one of the things where it's like, aha, okay, I'm going to really focus on this. I think this is going to be super helpful. Yeah, exactly. So what she was talking about, guys, is like moderation, like having that one meal and participating without feeling guilty, but focusing on what she can control leading into it. And that's the compassion and accountability, if you think about it, right? Compassion. I'm going to enjoy some food. It's Thanksgiving, right? Like I'm going to have some pumpkin pie. My grandma made it from scratch, right? Like I'm going to eat some, right? But the ebbs and flows, give and take, I'm still going to hold myself accountable to the things I can control, right? It's the same thing with exercise. Is it going to be 100% what you would normally do in your circumstances when you have access to your gym? You can wake up at a time and be in your routine versus like being with family or traveling. No, it's not going to like match up with those expectations more than likely, okay? But what can you do? Can you do something at home, right? Like if we go into the vault, there are body weight workouts that you can do in your own bedroom before people start getting going, right? You can also, you know what I used to do? Or I did a couple of times when I was traveling. I think one time we were in Mexico, and it was almost impossible to get to the gym on one of those days. And I already had like 2 days that I didn't do a workout. So I was kind of like, all right, compassionate accountability, I gotta do something, right? You know what I did? I packed up my suitcase and made it super heavy. I even found some like books that was like in the hotel. It was a really, really cool hotel with like a bookshelf and everything. Put a bunch of books in there, and I put it in like, I think it was a duffel bag. And I just did a workout. Instead of doing it with dumbbells, I did it with the duffel bag. So like I would do rows with the duffel bag. I'd put it on the back of my shoulders and did some squats and some lunges. And then I just did a little conditioning thing with the duffel bag. Like I think it was just like lunges with some burpees. Like I did some presses with it, and then I did some abs with it. And I did that for like 10-15 minutes. Was it like aligned with what I was supposed to be doing that day? No, but it was significantly better than not doing anything at all. And because I did that, I felt super accomplished. I felt more aligned with my ideal self, my best self. I tacked in another check mark of I am that person that says I'm going to do something and actually does it, right? And I felt significantly physically better. Like I was feeling really icky because we were enjoying some food and drinking a little bit of tequila too during that time because it was for a wedding, and I just felt icky. And after I did that workout, like I did not want to do it, but I did it anyways, and I felt so much better after. Right? Again, that adapting and adjusting, like avoiding the whole all or nothing. Like I have this program, so therefore I have to 100% do it. Right? It's like, no, there's a lot of gray in between that I can do that's still better than nothing at all. And just being logical, it's not realistic for me right now to do that. So why am I trying to hold myself to those expectations? It doesn't make sense. Right? So let me find something in the middle that does make sense, that I can do with what I've got, that still aligns with what I need to be focusing on, and not beat myself up about it. Just kind of do it. You know what I mean? So it's like the same thing there. We have a bunch of workouts that are in the vault in the app that you can do. And if you still don't know what to do or how to change it to the equipment that you have, guess what? You have a community chat you can ask. You have coaches you can reach out to that will help you do that. Like you're not alone. You can help adapt and adjust. And if you take that time now to ask the questions and ask for help and even plan ahead a little bit, now you'll know exactly what to do next year. And then you can build off of it again and build off it again. Sorry, the sun decided to blind me. Hold on one second. It's so much better. Right? So there's living in that gray, that growth mindset, also known as cognitive flexibility. Rather than thinking black or white, we're living in the gray. What can I grab at? What is better than nothing at all? What can I do to move the needle forward? Even if it's just a little tiny bit, what can I grab at so I can put that another check mark into the box of I am that person that thinks on my feet. I am that person that's adaptable and adjustable. I am that person when shit hits the fan, I still find something to do. Instead of that person that becomes a mental drama queen and just is like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna visit Fuckinville for the next month and a half. Like nobody wants to be that person. We all are inspired and aspire to be that person that when shit hits the fan, they've got a game plan somehow. Or if they don't, they ask for help. Right? All these people that we see that are super successful, right? We look at them on social media, we look from afar. I guarantee you, most of those people have people in their corner that they rely on when things get tough so they don't fall off the wagon. Like I have mentors, I have coaches, even the nutrition fitness. There's things that I don't know that I rely on people in my network to ask questions all the time. I think the biggest mistake, especially during the holidays where it's the toughest, is that we try to do it on our own. We kind of go into our little hole and we're a hermit and we're just like sitting in the shit and we keep digging ourselves in the hole, right? Put the shovel down, ask for help so that way you can get yourself out of the hole and start enjoying it rather than being frustrated about it, right? So is there anything else? No. I'm going to say this, like usually when I coach classes and I explain something and there's silence, I'm going to be like, I'm going to take your silence as a compliment that I am that good at explaining things. All right, guys, let's go. But seriously, the holidays is challenging. Accept it. It's okay. Everybody sucks at it. I've been doing this a long time, and I still run into moments where I don't know what the fuck to do right now. But we're going to fuck around and find out. I don't know. We're just going to move on, right? And then reach out to the people that love you and support you, like us, because we're here. And again, I said this to somebody else the other day, is that I became a coach because I thoroughly love helping people. It just fills my heart up. And when people are like, but I don't want to bother you, I feel like I'm bothered. I'm like, don't deny me. what I love. Don't deny me that opportunity. That's rude. That's selfish. Ask for help. Like, we love that. And that just shows us how invested you are in creating the changes and becoming the person that you want to be. And we always say this, we'll match your energy. If you're laid back, you don't ask questions, we're either going to think that you're just not really truly invested in this. It's neither good or bad. That's just what you're choosing right now. And we're gonna match that, or we're gonna think that you're doing everything great. And next time we chat, everything is gonna be done. But if it's not those circumstances, reach out, because that just shows us how much you want this, and we're gonna match that energy. We're gonna be there and help you. If there's something that we don't have that is gonna support you, ask for it. 9 times out of 10, we'll make it happen, right? Like, we love helping you guys, but we can't help you unless you ask for help. And it makes me very, very happy. So it is all about me, guys, okay? When are you gonna realize this? No, I'm just kidding. No, guys, from there, all I want you guys to do is just write down the piece of paper. I think that's the first start, is just writing on a piece of paper, what does success look like to you in the holidays? Be specific. How many times are you going to be working out? What do you think that you're going to have access to? Like, you're not going to have everything perfectly planned out, but at least you have a game plan to work off of. Then reach out to your coach if there's a certain circumstance that you don't know how to navigate. So for example, like on the other side, I work out at least 3 days in the week, but I'm traveling and I don't think that I'll have X, Y, and Z. Let me reach out to my coach and ask what they think I should do. Is there a workout in the vault that I'm not seeing that I could possibly do, and I can just click on that and put it on the day that I'm going to be doing that workout? Or I want to try to do my workout, but the gym that I'm at doesn't have cables, right? I'm going to go to a CrossFit gym that's nearby the house I'm staying at when I typically go to a commercial gym, or vice versa. How do I adapt and adjust towards those movements? Because I do want to still do those workouts. It is doable for me, right? That's where we come in, and that's where we help. So that being said, we are at the end of the time. I know y'all have stuff to do as well. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go. But have a great holidays. Thanksgiving's coming up. Have the food, create the memories, but just make sure that it's aligned with who you wanna be. We gotta start acting like that person now in order to become that person later, right? Okay, cool. Well, perfect. Love you guys. Just teasing. I'm just teasing. All right, I love you guys so much. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining. How do I turn this off? I'm not good at this. Hold on. Let's figure out how to turn this off. We're going to come over here. There we go.